I think a lot of companies are seeing the importance and the value of hosting retreats now, especially after 2 years of COVID where there was a growing sense of isolation. My name is Sean Hoff. I'm the managing partner of Moniker. A lot of companies that either gave up their office during COVID and moved to a fully remote model or a hybrid model have reached out to us and asked if we could help them plan their first retreat. You see their names on Slack or they pop up in your email all the time, but being able to put that face to the name and allowing you to actually develop that relationship. We've just anecdotally seen people write in after on the post-trip surveys talking about how reinvigorated and re-energized they feel after the retreat, having been able to kind of reconnect with their colleagues.
The tools and our ability to work remotely has made it possible to build what we've built, but the human connection piece of it is vital to what we do, and the retreats just amplify that a millionfold every time we do them. For us, these retreats have become probably our number one retention tool because people grow closer together, they understand each other more, they end up working better together because of it, and the excitement level goes through the roof, and it has this halo effect that lasts for the rest of the year if we do them right. My advice is they're done right and you go in with the right attitude and you actually really care about them, the return is absolutely no-brainer.
Somebody will find us either through a referral and get connected to us directly, or they just find us on the internet. And we'll have a conversation talking a little bit about what it is that they're looking to do, whether it be a short celebration type retreat, or if it's going to be like a few days abroad where there's a mix of work and some fun. From there, we would put together a proposal, sharing 3 to 5 destinations, talking about where we think would be an appropriate place to take the group based on budget, where people are coming from, what they're trying to accomplish. From there, once we lock it in, we start to put together the day-by-day itinerary and the corresponding budget. And then as we get closer to the date, we're working on the little things like what are we going to see, what are we going to taste, what are we going to feel.
I get a call from Sean or either clients, what kind of needs you have? Tell me the age, what kind of expectations? If it's in Florence, we think about something. If it's in Rome, we think about something else. Step by step, we go through the program. Even though if it's a simple day, we need really a lot of planning and schedule times. Let's say maybe for this, I would need this castle. So I call the castle and I explain the things that I need. And then I call the cooking classes and I call the mama and say, listen, we need to do this and it has to be done for this reason.
If you've got a group that's coming from all over the globe, what we recommend is a 4-night length. We just find that first night people can be a little bit jet lagged. Keep it simple. Make sure everybody feels warmly welcomed, and then a dinner, but nothing too serious. The next few days, it gives you enough time to really allocate a fair amount of the agenda towards mixing in the work and then also having enough free time or optional activity sprinkled in. Typically, the best model is to do the work in the morning. So you have your breakfast and then everybody kind of gathers in the meeting space. You might have a breakout session where you just get together with your smaller team or department. Ideally, you're trying to end the day by about 2 o'clock. It gives your people enough time to either relax, have some leisure time to go explore the property or potentially go off-site, or you can host full team building or an optional activity where the group can get together and actually just have some fun together.
We work together on the theme. We'll lean into that and create games and contests and other events along the way to tie into that and really make it feel like a cohesive, over-the-top experience.
Biggest thing is to deliver happiness, joy, and emotion. So no matter what the activity is, it can be a simple wine tasting, it can be a cooking class, or maybe a sort of game with the cards like we did with Sean.
There's this company, Plex, that we've worked with for many years. One of my favorite activities that we planned, we took them to Tuscany back in 2016. They were looking for something to get people out exploring the region. We staged essentially the Italian job, a bank heist. So we told the group to come meet us in the parking lot, and sure enough, their version of like the special police comes tearing down the driveway, sirens blazing, and he pulls to a stop in front of them, and he gets out, and everybody's looking at each other, having no idea what's going on. And he basically starts to explain that there's been a robbery in the nearby town of Monte San Savino. and their police force is small, and they heard that this group was in town, and hopefully they could help enlist them to solve this crime. They drive to Monte Savino, and we had actor with his wrists bound and tape over his mouth sitting in front of this bank. These attendees walk up, they take the tape off, and he says, yes, I was just robbed. There were 3 people who just left this bank, and as they were leaving, this piece of paper dropped out of their back pocket, and it just kind of evolved into this really fun circuit with a whole bunch of diversions and side quests. It was just an awesome way to explore the destination that we were in, but at the same time bring the team together. I definitely think that the industry around retreats and offsites is just at the cusp of exploding. Over the course of the last 2 years, obviously with COVID, tons of companies moved into a remote structure or at least a hybrid structure. It's allowed companies to hire the best talent wherever they are. Being apart or being isolated and working from home for the last 2 years has really reinforced this idea that there just is something intangible about getting together in person, which you just can't replace by Zoom calls or Zoom games and meetings on Slack. What we'll see, at least for the next few years, is companies probably will try to keep them close to home as they navigate their first retreats. But over the course of the next few years, I do think that we'll start to see a trend of companies going further abroad and not going to the usual places. Europe has always been a very popular destination with our clients, but what we're excited about is companies are starting to ask us a little bit more about off the beaten path destinations.